I have never been a Hammer horror aficionado. I know of them. I mean, you can't become a genre fan without knowing them. But I think that I was born a little too late for their films to really have an impact. I could look back at Universal horror films and that there would be a texture and a difference there. I feel like they had more of an impact on people that only had the Universal horror films, and then when the Hammer horror pictures came and gave a totally different feel, that they were in color, that they were a little bit grosser, they had a different texture to the Universal pictures like Dracula and Frankenstein, that it really made a difference. That's why you see so many magazines dedicated to stuff like Hammer horror films. It's not just nostalgia, there's actual value there, but I never really got an inside way to really dive into their entire filmography. There's so many films that it was always a little bit intimidating to really jump in, and the few that I had seen hadn't really grabbed me. Now, of course, I started at the beginning. I saw Curse of Frankenstein, I saw Blood for Dracula, and while they were good, it never really prompted me to want to check out more of them. There was always a bit of like a context missing. I almost needed a voice in the back of my head going, oh, just keep going. This is why it's important. This is why it has value. Look for this instead of just trying to focus on the entire picture. For example, Curse of Frankenstein, which is the first official Hammer horror film that kind of kicked off that monster wave, was something that I never was really able to get into. And watching it again on the new Warner Archives Blu-ray, I realized why that is, and it's because I came with certain expectations of what I wanted this movie to be. And principally, it's that this film is not about the Frankenstein monster. And I think that when I watch it, that's what I was looking for. Christopher Lee, in makeup, going around killing people. And what is really the focus of this picture is Victor Frankenstein, played by the amazing Peter Cushing as a complete sociopath. You see his kind of descent into the madness that would lead him to creating a monster. The monster in this is just here or there. He doesn't really do anything. He's played more like a pitiful animal than anything else. His personality only coming out of the suffering that the Christopher Lee performance has to endure, even though it has the amazing and very odd sped up shot where he pulls off the bandages and reveals who he is. But thanks to this Warner Archive Blu-ray, I was finally able to really dig into the film and appreciate it for what it did when it came out and what you can get from it now. So there's been a lot of Hammer Blu-rays and DVDs across many different distributors for multiple reasons, principally because they were distributed by a whole bunch of people, whether it be Warner Brothers or Columbia. So I was never really sure like which one is the ultimate version. I mean, Shout Factory puts out a lot of Hammer horror films, but they haven't really touched stuff like Curse of Frankenstein. And finally, Warner Archives has stepped up. Now, I'm not sure the entire backstory to this, but from what I got is that this film has always looked like crap. The negative was lost a long time ago, and any versions that have appeared digitally have been very flawed. Well, Warner Archives went in and they did the legwork. I mean, Warner Archives is a company that I am aware of, but I actually probably don't own that many discs of theirs because they are usually dedicated to presenting Warner films or films that Warner distributed in the best visual quality possible, but without that many special features. And as someone who's more of like a special feature guy, a thing that really triggers me and makes me go, oh, I want to see this version, newly remastered, better than it's ever looked, with a context, especially if it's a film that I am not that familiar with. But the releases are also very expensive. They have no distribution arm in Canada. Thankfully, Bay Street Video in Toronto, Canada does carry Warner Archive releases. Woohoo! I do a podcast with them, check it out. And their release of Curse of Frankenstein goes the extra level. This is a full-on, special feature-laden ultimate edition of this film, which is the main reason that I picked it up. It's got not only the film in 1851, it also has the 1661 version and the 1371 open matte version, so it has more information on the top and bottom. So they went all out to make sure that there will never be another release that can top it. And this was something that shocked me when I saw it, it has a boatload of new special features. I don't know what the mandate is at Warner Archives. Maybe the people in charge just don't care that much about special features. Their budgets are so low that they don't feel they can give the money to people to do it. But this has a new commentary track by Steve Haberman and historian Konstantin Nasser. And Konstantin Nasser is awesome. Basically any horror documentary that was on a major release from a studio was done by him. And he loved this stuff. He knows this stuff. His commentary is a great listen, especially for someone that's like a beginner to Hammer horror stuff like I am. It also features on disc 2 a boatload of special features. The Resurrection Men, Hammer Frankenstein, the Rebirth of Horror Films, Hideous Progeny, The Curse of Frankenstein, The English Gothic Tradition, Torments of Light, The Art of Cinematographer Jack Asher, Diabolus in Musica, James Bernard and the Sound of Hammer Horror. These are great featurettes, all of them 15 to 20 minutes. And they take the form of the way that special features are done now, and I really appreciate, which is usually just one person talking. I understand that when you have multiple talking heads, you get more of a perspective on the movie, but I think the problem with that is that you don't always get as in-depth as you would if you just get one person speaking, especially if it's somebody that is an academic and didn't have anything involved to do with the film. But it's also important because it's easier to do special features. It's much cheaper if you only have to get one person to sit in front of a camera and you get a 15 to 20 minute video than you have to get 20 of the people that participate. This has been kind of the norm, even on Shout Factory discs, where you get, like, even an actor just talks about their entire career. And that's what I really like. And you get such a understanding of the film and what it meant historically that if you are a Hammer newbie, I would definitely recommend this. Now, if you are a Hammer veteran, you've already bought this. It has the movie better than it's ever looked. But I don't know if the special features will give that much because it's probably stories that you've already heard, getting all the Hammer horror magazines, Hammer podcasts, and all that stuff. If you are new to all of this, I would highly recommend this. The film itself, you go in with certain expectations that it is slow. It's not particularly gory. You just have to realize that it was offering something that had never really been done before, and there's importance there. And there's also beauty because, man, these sets look great, and it's a great performance by Peter Cushing. There's a lot to love there. This has triggered me to go want to explore more Hammer films. Will I myself become a Hammerhead? Ooh, I don't know, but oh no. I ended up picking the Mill Creek Hammer Horror box set. It has begun. Make sure to check out the Bay Street Video podcast, where me and Mark Hansen, the product manager at Bay Street Video, a brick and mortar video store in Toronto, Canada, which is where I bought this Blu-ray, Curse of Frankenstein, talk about all the new Blu-rays and DVDs that are released every week. All of them in podcast form. Check out the link below. And of course, remember to subscribe wherever the buttons are. Thanks for watching.